Hello, I am Xarkun, and this is World of Warships Legends. The update has dropped, and normally around this time I would be streaming the update, but when I woke up early this morning before work to start doing that, I realized the update had been delayed, and there was no time, no ETA on when it would actually be live, so I thought, okay, well, we'll go back to bed, get a little bit of extra sleep for maybe an hour, and then wake up and do the stream before work. Well, that didn't happen. I fell back asleep and I didn't wake up until there were about, 2 hours left before I had to go to work, which is not enough time really to get a stream in, but it is enough time to play a couple of games in the new campaign reward ship. So instead of doing a stream, I'm going to have to give you my first impressions on the Tier 7 USS Anchorage, which is the reward for the new campaign. And maybe we'll do a stream at some point this week before Friday to make up for the lack of the stream today. My apologies, but I'll try to give you the best look I can at this new boat. And you can see they've changed the UI, so I think first what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the stats, we're going to build the ship, then we're going to take it out for at least one game, maybe two, edit the video together, and put it on YouTube so you can see my first impressions. Almost like a stream because I am playing this live. Well, I'm doing commentary as I play, so almost the same as a stream, not quite, but second best thing, I suppose. In any case, Anchorage, 41.8k hit points. That seems pretty good for a Tier 7 cruiser. Keep in mind, too, I did not play this ship when it was available for rental, so I am not really sure what to expect. These are definitely my first impressions. Guns, 203mm guns, and 4x3, that means there's 12. Okay, so this thing has like buffalo firepower. 15.4 or 6 km range, 14.5 second reload. Turret traverse isn't even that bad at base. And the AP does quite a lot of damage, especially for the size. Things got torpedoes too, okay. And they have 10.5 km range, 66 knots, 19k a pop. Pretty good American torpedoes. Reload time is not bad either at 87 seconds. AA, who cares? Maneuverability, 33 knots is good. Turning circle's a little big. Rudder shift isn't great. Concealment, 12.3 base. Okay. So here's how we're going to build this ship then, given these stats. We're going with Aiming Systems Mod 1. We're going to go with probably Propulsion Mod. And of course, Concealment. And then we are going to go with... I would go with Main Battery Reload Mod, I think. Let's take a look at the reload now. Interesting. Okay, 13 seconds is pretty good, and concealment we've got it down to 11. As for the consumables, doesn't look like we get radar, sonar or fighter plane, so obviously we're going with sonar, and smoke or defensive AA, so obviously we're going to go with smoke. What, though, is the smoke firing penalty of this ship? Detectability... I don't actually see the smoke firing penalty. Detectability when the ship is on fire. Detectability by air. Why doesn't it show it? Am I completely missing it? Oh, detectability while firing in smoke. There we go. I just can't read. 6.5. Okay, that's not bad. For the commander, we'll go with... Well, it is a heavy cruiser, and I do tend to like to run sort of the more defensive focus commanders on that, especially ones like Kincaid with Ingenious. So I think for the moment, we're going to go with, I believe this is Beepley. It's Popeye, of course, but yeah, it's Beepley. We're going to go with Beepley on this one because it's a heavy cruiser. And I realize not everybody has Beepley, but Kincaid will give you a similar sort of build. And okay, so we've got much better turret traverse at 23 seconds. And the detectability is 10 km. That's a little bit better. All right, so we'll pop some flags on here then for some extra XP and credit earnings. And then we'll take it out for at least one match and try to get some first impressions on it. Let's go. Okay, so matchmaking in this initial game is actually pretty good. Nice even spread of cruisers, battleships, and destroyers. All right, we spawn on the Charlie flank, so let's see what we can do. I'm going to chamber the HE for the moment. These aren't big enough guns that I just want to load the AP initially to see what'll happen. But I assume the AP is really, really going to be good, although I think hopefully we'll get some use out of this HE. And I can't forget either that we do have a smokescreen with 10 km torps. So hopefully this destroyer is going to push up into the Charlie cap and we can sort of hang out a little bit more back here, wait for him to spot, maybe smoke up, and then start farming some ships as they push in. That's sort of my initial thoughts on what could be done with this ship. It sort of looks like, well, I guess it doesn't even really look like an Alaska. When I first saw the ship, I kind of thought, little baby Alaska at tier 7, but I don't think that's quite right, because the Alaska has 305mm guns, and these are 203s, so considerably smaller. Heavy cruiser guns, to be sure. You know, one thing we didn't look at, though, is the armor scheme. Although I suspect this thing probably has 27mm plating everywhere. I don't necessarily want to try to find that out the hard way, because if it turns out I'm wrong and Jean Bar over here can overmatch, well, not exactly ideal. But, okay, so we do have a DD in the cap. Jean Bar is, of course, a battleship, so he can only sit still and maybe creep forward. We are going to smoke up now that we've been spotted and deploy the sonar. And switch to... oh, I kind of wish I had not switched to AP. I was going to shoot the Charles Martel, but now the Oyster Goat Land has been spotted, so obviously we're going to shoot at that instead. AP being loaded is not ideal, but it'll hit, it'll hurt him. 3K, not bad, certainly. Especially for the AP. And as long as we win this contest here, I think our Smolin survives with our assistance. Okay, well, he does get the Oyster. And does he survive? No, but at least it's a even trade. So back to the Jean Bar for the moment, I suppose. We are going to switch to HE on this one. Gonna have to be careful of the Charles Martel, but frankly, I don't think the Charles Martel is going to be that much of a threat. And we've lost our eyes. The rest of our team is grouped up near Alpha, so this certainly is Update Monday. We're going to have to... at least we know the destroyer's toast, so... and I'm hoping we can outspot... we do outspot the Charles Martel, that's good. Well, now I guess is the time to test our armor. So there's a shot out at the Jean Bar, back to AP for the Charles Martel. Hopefully these Jean Bar shells will bounce. Yeah, okay. Certainly could have been worse. Martel's turning in. Don't really appreciate that. Battleship, hello. Can you join the fun? We do have a fire burning on Jean Bar. That's good. And I think our initial salvo with the HE against him... you know, if we can go dark here, we'll actually... yeah, we're dark now. We'll launch some torps, maybe. I don't know what Jean Bar is going to do, so we'll put the torps there just in case. He's still got that fire burning, too, so that's nice. Charles Martel, though. I don't know. This thing does have a shell-catching step on the back. I really wish this battleship would get out from behind this island so this guy's got something else to, you know, shoot at aside from me. We're backed up to the corner of the map now. The armor is protecting us. And a good thing here is that the shells don't seem woefully inaccurate. I was kind of thinking that might be... Well, we just take a gigantic hit there from Charles Martel, and he's got reload boost, so that's to be expected. That's our own fault. We're going to have to... Oh, there's another cruiser here, too. We're going to have to border hump for a moment, and actually, we could deploy smoke. If Jean Bar doesn't sink us. And he doesn't. We do get a heal. We will deploy the smoke. It's good that we have such excellent detectability while firing in smoke. I think our battleship is most likely toast, so we're going to be next. We're probably going to have to get out of here, actually. The smoke screen is not going to serve us too well. And we were going to deploy some torps, but yeah, we're going to have to hightail it out of here, because if we get trapped and these guys push into us, we have no method of escape. Jean Bar, at least for the moment, is outside of our detectability range, so we may be able to escape. We just got to get the speed put on, and it'll work well if Jean Bar looks like that. But of course, here's the cruiser, so I'm sure we're toast. We're definitely caught between a rock and a hard place. But we do sort of get the idea of how effective or ineffective the AP or HE might be. Let's see what it does to Jean Bar. And oh my gosh, okay, we might actually be able to take out Jean Bar without dying. And if we can, we eliminate the threat on our broadside, and maybe we can deal with this cruiser and not lose our lives in the process. Okay. So there's Jean Bar. And now you, who I think you're giving far too much broadside. Maybe not. Alright, so we're dead here. Not a great first game, but not... Well, actually, my team is probably going to win this, so we'll check back on the scoreboard, but we'll definitely play another game, because I feel like that didn't give us the best idea. Although we did see some good things there out of the HE. Certainly does a lot of damage. AP certainly does a lot of damage, too. And I think we would have been very successful on that flank if our destroyer didn't, unfortunately, trade himself for the enemy. But it's okay. Looks like we'll win this game, despite it being lackluster, so we'll move on to the next and see if we can't get a little bit of a better result out of this particular vessel. Alright, so the game is over. It does end with our glorious victory, but, well, we don't do a whole lot. Pretty mediocre game on our part. Let's go back to port, correct our earlier error, take a look at this armor scheme, and then we'll take it into the next battle to see what happens. Okay, and that's basically what I thought, that it would be coated in 27 millimeters everywhere. Okay, thanks. I don't care about arpeggio right now. And let's take a look at the Citadel. Oh, okay, so it is definitely exposed. It's over the water line, but it's only like right under the superstructure. It's sort of unhittable beneath the turrets on the front and the back. So you would have to aim at the middle of the ship. I think if you're aiming at either the back turrets or the front turrets, you're really not going to Citadel it. But it's definitely vulnerable, and it's a wide Citadel too, so I don't think you can expect Battleship AP to overpenetrate it. Anyway, on to the next game. I don't know how, but we get blessed matchmaking 2 times in a row. Double DDs on each team, fair number of cruisers, rest battleships. Honestly, quite nice. But let's see what happens if we travel over to the Charlie Cap now that we've spawned here. Will the Belfast and the other cruiser here, the Zara, want to play this side, or will they completely abandon it and go toward the center? The jury's still out, but it does look at least like the Zara is pushing this way. And our RPF indicator skill seems to suggest that some enemy is coming around this way. Maybe we can get closer to the cap and launch some preemptive torpedoes to maybe intercept somebody who would be coming around that corner and pushing in. Don't want to let the torpedoes fly just yet. I want them to at least reach the edge of the cap if possible, but we'll see. And we'll call that good enough. Launch these torps, see what happens. I believe it's probably a DD over here. Oh, and it's a York. Okay. Well, we massively outspot him. Let's get ourselves angled a little bit. I anticipate that as soon as somebody shoots at him, or maybe even before, he's going to turn. So we're going to hold the fire for a little bit. See if we can't get a favorable angle. But I think that's probably all we get for the moment. So shells out. Let's see what happens. And he's turning in. Nice damage, though. No ricochet, shatters, anything like that. Battleship shooting at us. Lovely. This York is toast, though. Okay, there's a Citadel. Well, he's slightly angled, and now when he's even less angled, this should be, I mean, death, right? Yeah. First blood, okay. Well, American, okay, so we're gonna smoke up now. Luckily it's the hood that just shot, so should be halfway decent in mitigating that damage. Of course, York torpedoes coming in at Belfast, who just took a massive hit. Speaking of which, so did Hood. And I don't know what these guys are going to do, but we're going to try to help Belfast farming Hood with some HE. And that is some decent damage. I mean, 7 pens. If we can get a fire, that would be ideal. And unlike the last game, we have other ships for them to consider here. Hood is pushing in, so I guess we'll deliver torps out that way. I don't think the torps are necessarily the main attraction on this boat, but how much damage can we do? We may switch to Gneisenau here, I think. There goes Hood. I don't get it. I mean, I thank these guys for pushing in as they are. They're just giving up all their HP. Oh. We got torpedoes, eh? We don't even have our sonar on. Fire on Gneisenau, okay. I mean, he's gonna take torps and die, surely. And our smoke's about to expire. I think we'll switch to the AP. We don't have to. There's obviously a DD here, though. I'm going to turn on the sonar in case there's any more incoming torpedoes, but I fully expect to be spotted here. Or maybe not. The DD... Huh. Interesting. Okay, now we're spotted. I was going to say he must be behind the rock. Radar? Oh, there he is. Oh, it's an Akatsuki. Poor little guy. He's dead. It's not, yeah. Oh, he provided us with a smoke screen. Cool, thank you, Akatsuki. Of course, this isn't a great game either. We may have to give you a selection of 3 games, because this one's already over. But we see some of the efficacy of the AP against the broadside of a cruiser, following that storied American tradition of being able to beat the absolute crap out of other cruisers with your American cruiser. using the excellent armor piercing, which obviously this thing shares the same improved pen angle characteristics as the typical American cruiser AP, so that's good. Kansas doing the reversing thing. Is he gonna shoot at me? I am, after all, in a new ship. Looks like he's probably aiming at me. He's probably unhappy about these fires. Is he going forward now? Yeah. And he does shoot at me. So we can't really angle against that, but we can mitigate the damage by not going at the speed he thought we were going at. We're going to turn now, though, and switch to the AP. See if we can't get a decent chunk in on the Kansas. But I can indeed see the efficacy of this ship. I can see how this is going to be pretty, or at least it has the potential to be quite potent. Very good heavy cruising damage dealer. And the smoke screen's even nice, but obviously this game is over, and I don't know how much value we gleaned from it, so we'll probably just cut to the end results and then load into the next one. Honestly, I think we'll do 3 games to try to get a good solid basis for first impression, and hopefully the next game we play will be a little bit more evenly matched, because this one was literally decided inside of 5 minutes, and terrible. But update Monday, what do you expect? Alright, maybe we will see a little bit of action before this game ends. We did manage to push in here. We're getting spotted by the enemy destroyer, the Oster Goatland, but we'll deploy a sonar here. Try to keep on the lookout for his torpedoes, and maybe these shells will even hit Chappie. Oh, okay. Well, that's one way to do it, I suppose. This AP, wow, okay. That's 2 actual pens on that DD. I'll take it. Going behind this island here. I suspect Oyster Goatland torpedoes are probably incoming. But, alright, well, we're actually going to win the game before anything else of note happens. Yeah, there goes the Oyster, so that's a win. 2 wins in a row. That means the ship is good, right? Did we actually contribute to this one, though? I'd say so. Over 2,000 XP. Well, let's load into one more game, play that, and that'll conclude our first impressions, I think. And for the 3rd time in the row, we are the beneficiaries of pretty blessed matchmaking. Let's see how this one goes. Hopefully less mediocre than the previous 2 matches. We'll have to see. I think I want to turn my ship in this direction, though. We'll put the guns on the starboard side, and we'll turn this way. 'Cause usually, I don't want to go down this route and have this island at my back. But I do want to get some spotting, maybe, of some of these enemy ships. I don't know where the destroyer will have spawned, but hopefully over there near that cap. Something's over here, though. I think we do want to be cautious. I'll try to keep this island, or this rock, in between me and whatever's there. We'll launch... Oh, there's some shells. Siegfried, okay. Decent target. We are very flat broadside to this area of the map, which could spell demise, but... Okay, alright. Okay, so Azuma was the only one. Okay, he wasn't the only one. We may smoke up here, I think. Yeah, let's smoke up. Deploy some smoke or sonar. See what we can do against the Richelieu. maybe another shot at the Siegfried or the Azuma. 4K against the Richelieu, not bad. But Siegfried. Atlantico.
Smoke screen set.
Not exactly glorious results on the Siegfried, but some damage better than no damage. This may not have been the ideal place to deploy the smoke screen in retrospect. How does the AP fare here? They're all abandoning the Bravo cap. That's actually quite good for our purposes. Wonder if anybody will shoot at us now. Richelieu is quite tunnel visioned on whatever's in front of him. Entire enemy team really is over here. Be interesting to know why why the enemy has managed to capture Delta when they've got 2 ships there versus 3. It could be the fact that the battleships are not performing their role by creating crossfires, but instead sitting next to each other in the same grid square. But maybe this actually presents, if we turn our guns this way, does this present an opportunity for us to get into the Bravo cap? I know the Atlantico or whatever was coming around that island. But I think yeah, there's the Atlantico. So, alright. Maybe we don't quite turn into the Bravo cap because the Atlantico will hurt us. We'll have to turn away, not run into this island, but Atlantico is coming around. Maybe we get some use out of these torps. See what we can do to his broadside. We should be able to reasonably protect ourselves from damage, considering he's got 15-inch guns. His secondaries, though, are honestly the biggest concern. Ooh. Well, we do take some nasty hits there. Are we gonna go dark? Maybe not. Okay, I don't really want to take these secondaries. Do we get a torp hit? At least one? No? Well, we got smoke coming back here, so... We will get into the cap. We will smoke up. We will take it. And we will try to provide more supporting fire. I think Atlantico is dead, so that's good. Azuma back here is something I really would like to shoot at. But we get spotted. That has to be by the enemy DD, right? Of course, Atlantico is going to shoot at us. His secondaries are no joke. Oh, that didn't kill him, though? Well, here's the main guns. And we drop off detection, so... I don't know exactly where the enemy DD is, but I think we do probably get this cap. And I also think we probably smoke up if we can find a decent position where we can actually get shots on these ships. The problem is the 3 battleships near Charlie are not really spotted. And actually, the enemy team's taken the lead, which is not ideal, but can we actually maybe shoot at the Bismarck without being spotted ourselves? If we can't, we'll just smoke up, but okay. So we are spotted. That might be a dead Bismarck, though. Yep, alright. And we do manage to secure the cap. Try to get some shots on this Missouri, maybe. He's flat broadside 12 km away, so that might be fruitful. Well, he's angling in now. He does have radar, so we want to be cautious, I think, Honestly, we probably want to pull out now because he can just radar us. I think he is probably going to try to come into the cap. I don't know why I just lost my voice there, but yep, and here we go. All right. Do we escape before we get nuked? I think so. Switch back to the HE. Destroyer is definitely over near Alpha. All right, we need to get... The enemy team has taken the lead, which, not ideal, but okay. Take a little bit of punishment from the Richelieu. I think Massachusetts is nearly toast. We want to try to help finish him off. Is he aiming at us, or is that still Richelieu? Okay, Massachusetts has got to go down now, right? One tap, there he goes. Richelieu still wants to shoot at me. Oh, good thing French accuracy is not necessarily the best. I assume the DD is probably going to be coming for us, so we do want to be careful here. Problem is, we're having to angle against these battleships, whilst also having to worry about the DD that's like right there. So we need to keep mobile. Don't really have sonar to protect us at the moment, so maneuvering is going to have to do it. And I think it's a safe bet that the DD could be torpedoing me. Need to be careful in this game too. Almost got the smoke screen up. Can we go dark actually? Hopefully that's a dead Richelieu. Alright, I don't think we can go dark, but we do need to take out the Richelieu. Okay, was that the DD that just took shots at us? Come on.
Torpedoes to port.
Okay. So torpedoes. But I think we do avoid them. Still spotted by the DD, but now I think we can push in a little bit, maybe even deploy a smoke. Oh, the DD though. He's within 10 km of us. We're actually ahead on points. Can we... Question is the DD the one aiming at me, or is it maybe the Missouri? Or is the Missouri dead? Okay, so it's only the Azuma and the other cruiser and the DD left, so maybe we'll be okay. We'll have sonar here momentarily. I'm gonna maybe take some shots at the Azuma. He's kind of out of the range, though. Do it anyway. Start getting the guns turned this way. Didn't mean to say affirmative, but I think the Azuma is probably gonna easily be able to melt down these battleships. I don't think he's going down before they do. We really need to assist them if possible. And there's the torpedoes from the DD. Naturally, he launches them at the battleship. And I think he's got the kill. Yep. I don't think we can pull this one back. Unless, what's our cruiser? Suzuya? Come on, Suzuya. We may just need to deploy smoke to turn around. Yeah, Zuma's gonna nuke us.
The ship is on fire. Problem solved, sir.
Oh no, do we take a torp here? Well, I didn't think we were going to win that game. Unfortunate. Although, this seems like, despite the fact that we got quite a few mediocre games in this ship, this does seem like it is a powerful ship. And maybe Azuma can pull, or not Azuma, Suzuya can pull things back for us. He's got a little less than half health. He might be able to take the cap, but yeah, that's a loss for us. Anyway, I think the Anchorage is probably a pretty good ship. And it's a heavy cruiser, but not a super heavy cruiser like the, the Alaskas and that kind of thing. It's just it's a heavy cruiser with 203 millimeter guns, and it's tier 7, meaning that it is actually a decent credit earner, unlike the premium tier 8s that we've received as the previous campaign reward ships. So, honestly, this one, at least on first impressions, despite the fact that we weren't able to do anything really spectacular with it, I think this one is probably worth pursuing. It seems at first brush to be quite strong, and if we could get, an opportunity to do a little bit more with it, I'm sure it would, of course, deal quite a bit of damage. Looks like our Suzuya is toast, so yeah, no hope of winning this one, but GG's anyway. So yeah, I think that concludes our first impressions of USS Anchorage. Seems like an interesting ship. It's more like I don't know, almost like a souped up Baltimore, but with torpedoes and radar. It doesn't really necessarily have an analog, I guess. The closest thing is probably the Rochester, but it has smoke screen, no torpedoes, and it has 9 203 millimeter guns. This thing has, 12? So I think that's the closest analog I can come up with. But yeah, so tier 7, USS Anchorage. First impressions, seems pretty solid, and I'm glad we have kind of a solid cruiser, a solid tier 7 cruiser as the campaign reward ship this time around. I think that is certainly not a bad thing. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry for the lack of the stream, but it's much easier to make this over like an hour and a half before work than it is to do, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2-hour stream before work. I'll try to make up for it by streaming some day other than Friday this week. We'll see what happens, but thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If so, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.